Yashruvi, Hare Krishna. मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिसतारणे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। Reading from chapter 4, Madhya Lila, text 86 onwards. Seeing the influence of Sri Madhavendra Puri, all the people gathered there were struck with wonder. They saw that the Annakut ceremony, which had been performed before during the time of Sri Krishna, was now taking place again by the mercy of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Text 87. All the Brahmanas present on that occasion were initiated by Sri Madhavendra Puri into the Vaishnava cult, and Madhavendra Puri engaged them in different types of service. 88. After taking rest, the deity must be awakened at the end of the day, and immediately some food and some water must be offered to him. Text 89. When it was advertised throughout the country that Lord Gopala had appeared atop Govardhan Hill, all the people from neighboring villages came to see the deity. Text 90. One village after another was pleased to beg Madhavendra Puri to allot them one day to perform the Annakut ceremony. Thus, day after day, the Annakut ceremony was performed for some time. Text 91. Sri Madhavendra Puri did not eat anything throughout the day, but at night, after laying the deity down to rest, he took a he took a milk preparation. Text 92. The next morning, the rendering of service to the deity began again, and people from one village arrived with all kinds of food grains. Text 93. The inhabitants of the village brought to the deity of Gopala as much food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk as they had in their village. Text 94. The next day, almost as before, there was an Annakut ceremony. All the Brahmanas prepared food, and Gopala accepted them. Text 95. The ideal place to execute Krishna consciousness is Vrajabhumi or Vrindavan Dham, where the people are naturally inclined to love Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna is naturally inclined to love them. Text 96. Thrones of people came from different villages to see the deity of Gopal, and they took Mahaprasadam sumptuously. When they saw the super excellent form of Lord Gopala, all their lamentation and unhappiness disappeared. Text 97. All the villages in the neighboring Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham became aware of the appearance of Gopala, and all the people from these villages came to see him. Day after day, they all performed the Annakut ceremony. Text 98. In this way, not only the neighboring villages, but also other provinces came to know of Gopala's appearance. Thus, people came from all over, bringing a variety of presentations. 99. The people of Mathura, who are very big capitalists, also brought various presentations and offered them before the deity in devotional service. 100. Thus, countless presentations of gold, silver, garments, scented articles, and eatables arrived. The store of Gopala increased daily. 101. One very rich Kshatriya of the royal order constructed a temple. Someone made cooking utensils, and someone constructed boundary walls. Text 102. Each and every family residing in the land of Rajbhumi contributed one cow. In this way, thousands of cows became the property of Gopala. Text 103. Eventually, two Brahmanas in the renounced order arrived from Bengal, and Madhavendra Puri, who liked them very much, kept them in Vrindavan and gave them all kinds of comforts. 104. These two were then initiated by Srila Madhavendra Puri, and he entrusted them with the daily service of the Lord. This service was performed continuously, and the worship of the deity became very gorgeous. Thus, Srila Madhavendra Puri was very much pleased. Text 105. In this way, the deity worship in the temple was gorgeously performed for 2 years. Then one day, Srila Madhavendra Puri had a dream. 106. In this dream, Srila Madhavendra Puri saw Gopala, who said, My bodily temperature still has not increased. Please bring sandalwood from the Malaya province and smear the pulp over my body to cool me. 107. Bring sandalwood pulp from Jagannath Puri. Kindly go quickly. Since no one else can do it, you must. Text 108. After having this dream, Srila Madhavendra Puri Goswami became very glad due to ecstasy of love of Godhead. And in order to execute the command of the Lord, he started east towards Bengal. Text 109. Before leaving, Srila Madhavendra Puri made all arrangements for regular deity worship and he engaged different people in various duties. Then, taking up the order of Gopala, he started for Bengal. Text 110. When Srila Madhavendra Puri arrived at the house of Advaita Acharya in Shantipur, the Acharya became very pleased upon seeing the ecstatic love of Godhead manifest in Srila Madhavendra Puri. Text 111. Advaita Acharya begged to be initiated by Srila Madhavendra Puri. After initiating him, Srila Madhavendra Puri started for South India. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, we'll go back to 86. So the context, the context here was that Gopal DT was found and Gopal DT was installed by Madhavendra Puri with the help of all the villages we heard. And then, oh, 1 second. Okay, my video is coming now. Okay, good. So the Gopal DD was installed, and we heard in the last session how they offered so much Abhisheka with so much water from Govinda Kund nearby, and so many thousands of pots of water they used, and then different kinds of articles they used for worship, Abhisheka and Aarti also. And then they all started doing Annakuta ceremony. Actually, that Annakuta ceremony is continuing today also. But basically, they brought lots of fruit from neighboring villages and they offered, cooked and offered it to the Lord Gopal deity like that. So now we'll continue from there. Basically, all the people who came were struck with wonder seeing the influence of Madhavendra Puri, meaning so many people are worshipping deities with so much gorgeously like that. So they actually compared that Annakuta ceremony to the Annakuta ceremony that happened at the Govardhana Puja time in Krishna Lila in the Upper Yuga like that. And then let me see if there are any purports anywhere nearby. Okay, 87th as a purport, 86th also as a purport. Okay, 86th purport is just describing Govardhan Lila. So 87th, all the Brahmanas present there were initiated by Madhavendra Puri into Vaishnava cult, it seems, before they do engage in deity worship. And then he engaged them in different kinds of worship for the deities. So in the purport, Prabhupada talks about Brahmanas' qualities. He says Brahmanas must be expert in occupational duties of Brahmana, qualified Brahmana. What are the 6 Brahmanical engagements are described? One is Patana, Patana. Patana means he must be aware of knowledge of the Vedic scriptures himself. Now, second thing is he must be also be able to teach the others the study of Vedic literatures, Patana. And then Yajana Yajana. He must be expert in worshipping deities and in performing Vedic rituals also. So that's called Yajana. And then he teaches others the same thing. That means he performs all the Vedic rituals for Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. It seems. That is called Yajana. So the whatever he learned about deity worship and performing Vedic rituals, he does those for the benefit of 3 higher orders of the society, basically Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Sudras, not Brahmana, of course. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. That is Yajana. Patana, Patana, Yajana, Jajana. And then he says Dana, Pratigraha and Dana. Pratigraha means accepting charity, accepting all kinds of charity from a different class of people who is serving. But interestingly, such a Brahmana doesn't keep all the money that's coming to him. He keeps only whatever is required. and mostly he engages that also for DD worship systems. And the rest, he again distributes in charity, dana, like that. Patana, Patana, Yajana, Yajana, Pratigraha, and Dana. It's those six qualities of six official duties of a Brahmana, like that. So now, for a Brahmana to worship the deity, he must become Vaishnava first, is described in the purport. So that's why Vaishnava position is superior than Brahmana. So those who are worshipping deities, they should be initiated in Vaishnava mantra, Prabhupada describes. And then, so that's why Madhavendra Puri initiated them into Brahmanas, into Vaishnava, it seems. And he engaged them from 4 in the morning till 10 at night, is described, from Mangalarti to Sayanarti. And for that, there must be 5 or 6 Brahmanas, because one or two Brahmanas cannot do all the deity worship that we see in our temple also. So many devotees are engaged in deity worship. And then food is frequently offered to the deities and distributed as prasadam. Actually, this point is elaborated as a theme in several verses coming up. That prasadam distribution is very important, he says, along with deity worship. So he says, we are also from Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, so much carefully following the footsteps of Sri Madhavendra Puri. And he says, we're following the rituals like Vaishnava rituals to worship deities according to our parampara is describing Prabhupada. Okay, we're going on to 88th verse. So after taking rest, the deity must be awakened at the end of the day. That means in the evening, he needs to be awakened up, deity needs to be woken up, and immediately some food and some water to be offered to him. This is called Vaikali Boga, it seems. Food offered at the end of the day. Prabhupada writing in the purport. Then it was advertised that about Gopal appearing on the top of Govardhan Hill to all the people. So all the people from neighboring villages came to see the deity, it seems. Then all the one village after another was pleased to beg. See, they were pleased to beg Madhavendra Puri. For what? So they can arrange the Annakut ceremony for one day, like that. Every village took one day. We'll take care of this day. You take the next village take care of another day, like that. They kept on doing Annakut ceremony several days, like that. Initially, installation ceremony was only one day, we heard. Okay. Next is described Madhavendra Puri, because he's doing deity worship throughout the day. He did not eat anything throughout the day. But at night, after putting the deity to rest, then he took some milk preparation, it seems. So actually, Brahmanas doing deity worship, sometimes they have a schedule like this. I know some of the devotees in our temple also, when they go for Radha they don't eat anything throughout the day till they take care of the deities in the evening, like that, because they need to be clean. So 92, the next morning, the rendering of the service to deity began, and people from one village arrived with all kinds of food grains. Remember, each village is doing Annakuta ceremony one day, like that. That's what is being described. Okay, 93 verses purport. So inhabitants of village brought to the deity of Gopala as much food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk as they had in their village. This is important. Prabhupada is conveying this point in a couple of verses at least. Basically, he says they didn't bring just a little bit of food grains, little bit of things. They brought as much as they could bring, like that. So there were lots of quantity. Why? Because they want to offer to the deity and then distribute that as prasadam to everybody. That's one main point in the purport. And the main point Prabhupada is making is actually the real things needed for cooking for deity is these things: food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk. Prabhupada says even vegetables are a subsidiary, like that, he says in this purport. But essentially, using these 4 ingredients and the vegetables together, we can make lots of preparation for the deities, he says. And then he also underscores the importance of eating only prasadam, that means only food offered to the deities in this purport. That's why Vaishyas are recommended in Bhagavad Gita to do agriculture and cow production, like that. He underscores that point. And cow is an important animal because it produces milk. See, 3 of the products that are recommended are coming from cow only: milk, ghee, and yogurt. Then the perfection of human civilization depends on Krishna consciousness, which recommends deity worship, he says. So Prabhupada compares the worship of deity from between West and East. And he says in the East, India, everybody comes, brings lots of food to deity, it seems. Then they use that to distribute prasadam to everybody like that. So Prabhupada is approving that practice, that making lots of food stuff and distributing prasadam like that. And Prabhupada says that is the formula of distributing lots of prasadam to purify all the people of their sinful eating habits and sinful other habits also, Prabhupada is saying. So Prabhupada actually gives the whole formula in this purport like that. Similarly, when the people take to eating only prasadam offered to the deity, all the demons will be turned into Vaishnavas. That's the best process he's saying. And when the people are Krishna conscious, government also will be Krishna conscious. Then there will be nobody to trouble from government also. So Krishna, because Krishna conscious man is very liberal to everyone. So then people will certainly be sinless because government is good because of Vaishnavas. The people also will be sinless like that. That way, a whole society will become peaceful, Prabhupada is saying in the purport. So going to 94th verse. The next day, another Annakud ceremony by another village people. All the Brahmanas prepared foods and Gopal accepted them. And the 95th has the purport also. The ideal place to execute Krishna consciousness is Vardhabhumi or Vrindavana. We also know this. Residing in Vrindavana is one of the 5 most potent activities we hear, right? From Nectar of Devotion also. Where the people are naturally inclined to love Krishna and Krishna is naturally inclined to love them. Prabhupada writes the purport, Etamam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamiham. That means when we reciprocate Krishna a certain way, Krishna will reciprocate with us. And Krishna also, Prabhupada also writes in the purport, Tesam satyuktana bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. That's the one he's stressing. Enama upayantite. Basically, when devotees serve Krishna nicely and they're elevated in their consciousness like that, in service of devotion service, then they get an opportunity to directly hear Krishna talk. They can talk to Krishna directly. And then they can experience practical realization of Krishna like that is saying, not just theory like that is saying. So then that is a real religion where somebody is advanced like that is saying. Now, 96th verse is here saying a lot of people from different villages came to see the Gopal deity and they took Mahaprasad sumptuously. And they were, when they saw the deity form, super excellent form of Gopala, their lamentation and unhappiness disappeared, it seems. And all the villages in neighboring Rajbhumi, Vrindavana, they came to know about Gopal prince, and all the people of villages came to see him. Day after day, they all performed Annakut ceremony. Okay, no purport here for next few verses. So not only neighboring verses, from little faraway places also, they all came to see Gopal, it seems. So they came with different presentations. Interestingly, Madhura people are very big capitalist systems. So they brought great presentations and offered them to deities in devotion service. What are their presentations? Gold, silver, garments, scented articles, and eatables. They all brought those, and that's how the store of the Gopal deity increased daily, it seems. One time, a very Kshatriya constructed a temple for him, it seems. Someone made cooking utensils, someone constructed boundary walls like that. Basically, everybody is doing some service for the deity according to their capacity. So this has a purport. Each and every family contributed one cow also, it seems. That way, thousands of cows became the property of Gopala, it seems. Prabhupada writes in the purport that everybody should be enthusiastic to contribute to the construction of the temple for the deity. And everyone also should contribute food for the prasadam distribution. And the devotee should preach devotion service. Thus, engage people in practical service to the deity. Actually, Prabhupada takes this point to further explain the purport. That when people are allowed to engage in practical service like that to deity, give some money to deity, give some food to the deity, like that, practical services to deity, then they'll become spiritually inclined. And all the society people can be converted to Krishna conscious like that. Because, and then the material desires also will diminish through that practical service, he's saying. And when his senses are purified by engaging in Krishna service, then we actually can do bhakti also with the purified senses. So then we can understand Krishna with bhakti. That is the way to awaken Krishna consciousness, all the people Prabhupada is describing the purport. Now 103. So one day, two Brahmanas came in the renounced order, it seems, from Bengal. That means two sannyasis came. And Madhavendra Puri, who liked them very much, kept them in Vrindavana and gave them all kinds of comforts, it seems, interestingly. And then he says, these two Brahmanas, he initiated them into Vaishnava Sampradaya and he entrusted them with daily service of the Lord. So now they took the deity worship now. Earlier he was doing, looks like most of it. Uh, but in the previous was also, we heard he initiated few Brahmanas to do that also. But now they entrusted the daily service to them. And then they are performing deity worship continuously. And deity worship was done very gorgeously also. And Madhavendra Puri was very pleased with that. Actually, Prabhupada writes in this purport that Goswamis also established different temples like Govinda temple, Gopinath temple, Madan Mohan temple, Radha Damodar temple, Shyamasundar temple, Radharaman temple, and Gokulananda temple, and then asked their disciples, put their disciples in charge to do deity worship, it seems. So in this way, deity worship in the temple was being gorgeously performed for 2 years, it seems, from the time of installation. Then one day, now the storyline shifts to another place. Now Madhavendra Puri needs to travel from now. So one day Madhavendra Puri had a dream, it seems. What kind of dream? In the dream, he saw Gopal deity. And Gopal said, my body temperature still has not decreased, very hot. Please bring sandalwood from the Malaya province. Malaya is famous for sandalwood, Prabhupada writes in the purport. And smear the pulp over my body to cool me. And the purport Prabhupada writes, even though remember DT was there inside the bushes for a long time, so it was so hot. Even though he was brought up and installation ceremony was done, so much abhishek was done, still he was feeling hot at DT. That's why DT came and gave this instruction to Madhavendra Puri to go and bring sandalwood, and smear it over his body to cool him like that. DT. So Prabhupada writes some geographical background also. Where is the Malaya Hill on the western side, like that he writes. And he also says Malaysia also used to produce sandalwood earlier, it seems, but now they're producing rubber trees. Vedic culture was also prevalent in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Java, it seems, earlier, but now it's lost, it seems. That's what he's saying, Prabhupada in the purport. And then Gopal Didi is saying, bring sandalwood pulp from Jagannath Puri. Kindly go quickly. Since no one else can do it, you must. That is the instruction he gave. And then after that dream, Madhavendra Puri became very glad due to his ecstasy of love, Krishna Prema, and to execute the command of the Lord, he started east towards Bengal, it seems. So before leaving, Madhavendra Puri ensured that all arrangements for regular deity worship are made so that somebody can continue deity worship nicely. So he engaged different duties with different services, it seems. And taking the order of deity, he went to Bengal to get the sandalwood pulp. So finally, Madhavendra Puri arrived at the house of Advaita Acharya in Santipur, it seems. Advaita Acharya became very, very pleased upon seeing the ecstatic love of Godhead manifest in Madhavendra Puri, it seems. So Advaita Acharya, what did he do? Actually, this Friday is Advaita Acharya's appearance. Advaita Acharya begged Madhavendra Puri to initiate him, it seems. So Madhavendra Puri initiated him. And then Madhavendra Puri started for South India. Oh, there's a purport. Oh, I didn't get to read this purport, I think. Okay, we'll cover this verse again next time because I could not read this verse purport fully. So we'll start again from this verse next time, tomorrow. Okay, so we heard about Madhavendra Puri's wonderful worship of deities, about the culture of deity worship, importance of deity worship, importance of prasadam distribution, importance of serving the deity by giving whatever we have to the deities like that, and then a great devotion of Madhavendra Puri, and then finally Advaita Acharya getting initiated from Madhavendra Puri. Those are the few things we heard today. We'll pause there. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasantubhya evacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much, devotees. Hare Krishna. Is oh, this is not working. Let me see.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You can stay on the line, Prabhu. Sunil Prabhu.